Today we're going to go over the basics of Adobe Animate. Normally you would create everything as an HTML5 canvas, but to make things easier to turn into Google Classroom, we're going to do ActionScript 3.0. Your screen probably starts off looking like this. I'm first going to change my interface to Classic, because this is the interface I'm used to. You can choose any interface you want, but all of the videos will be in this interface. Next, I'm going to go to Advanced Settings on the right. I'm going to change the size to 1280 by 720, which will give me more space. And then the stage color can be whatever color you want for your background color. Make sure you click Make Default so that these will be the default sizes next time you create a file. Hit OK. If you click down with the mouse wheel and drag, you can recenter that on your screen. Now I'm going to show you how some of the shapes work. So first I'm going to select the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle, and then with the selection tool I'll show you how everything works. If I just click on the shape and move it, you'll see that the fill separates from the outline. If you want to select both, you could double click on the shape and it will also select the outline. If you just click on one of the sides of the outline, it only selects that one piece. If you double click on an outline, it will get all of the lines attached to that line. Also, if you were to draw a box around a shape to select it, only the part that you put a box around gets selected. So you can actually split shapes by only selecting part of the shape. If you put it back in the same spot using the magnet, you can actually put the shape back together. Also with the selection tool, you can go to a corner, and you'll see the mouse will change to have a corner icon. And then you can drag that corner around to change your shape. You can also go to any side and you'll see a curved icon on your mouse cursor that will allow you to bend the sides. The properties panel on the right changes with what you have selected. If nothing's selected, you get the document properties like the size and the background color. If I choose a shape, you'll see it changes the shape. I can change the outline color, the fill color, and properties of the outline. So if I want that white to change to a different color, I could do that. If I want to change the fill color, I could do that as well. The stroke here is the size of the outline, so that could be anywhere between a hairline and so wide that you don't see the fill anymore. You can also change the style. So right now it's selected as solid, but you could change that to dashed or any of these other options if you would like. You change that to 1 so that you can see the dashed option of the outline. Once you have your shape set up the way you want, the easiest way to put a motion tween on this is to select the dot on layer 1, which is the keyframe. Anytime you click on a keyframe, it will select everything on that frame. I'm going to right click on it and create a motion tween. You can only create motion tweens on symbols. Our shape is not a symbol. This will ask if you want to convert it to a symbol. If you check the box and click OK, it will automatically convert a shape into a symbol when you create a motion tween. So here you'll see that we now have a symbol called symbol 1, and it is a movie clip symbol. The way motion tweens work is they have a starting state. Right here is frame 1. And then we can have other states throughout the timeline. So if I go to the end and I change the state by altering its position, then it will calculate all the points between the first and last position. And I can press enter to show what that looks like. Since this path is a shape also, I can bend it just like I would a line, and I can change the path. I can also change the starting and ending points by moving the corners. If instead of going in a straight line, I wanted in the middle for it to go down, I can add a third point. So it will go from point A to point B, and from point B to point C. And that looks like this. If that's too fast, I can make it slower by making it take longer. Here's an example of it going out to 3 seconds. If that's too slow, I can make it faster. So if I make it about a half second, it would go like that. I go back to it being a straight line. Now I'm going to show rotation. I'm going to click on the blue bar up at the top, which is the motion tween. Then I will have the properties panel change to the motion tween, which will allow me to have rotation options. So if I change it to 1, it will rotate 1 time. If I change the direction from clockwise to counterclockwise, it will rotate the opposite direction. If I don't want to do a full turn, I can instead do 0 plus 180 degrees to do a half turn. Or if I want it to spin more than once, I can change it to 2 spins, or 3 spins, or however many. If I make the number too high, say 23, then I will actually not see any spins at all because I have 24 frames, which means I changed 23 times, which means every frame is exactly 1 turn. So if I change that to 22, it'll be a little bit less than 1 full turn. So instead of going 22 clockwise, it's actually going to go 1 counterclockwise. So when you're doing rotation, you want to choose a number that's less than half the number of frames. So since we have 24 frames, don't do anything higher than 11. Next, we're going to do the free transform tool. Free transform tool allows us to resize and rotate things. So what I'm going to do is with the free transform tools, I'm going to have my shape start as large, and then at the end, I'm going to shrink it down to small. And since our state changed, now our motion tween calculate the sizes also required to go from the starting state to the ending state. Next, we're going to go over layers. I'm going to lock this layer so that I don't mess it up. I'm going to double click on the layer name and change it to blue shape. And then I'm going to make a new layer. You can either click the new layer button, I can right click and do insert layer, or you can do insert timeline layer to insert a layer. I'm going to click on the new layer button. I'm going to name mine red shape. I'm going to make another shape. This time I'm going to use the polystar tool. I'm going to make it red. Then I'm going to click on the options and I'm going to make mine into a star. And then I'm going to draw my shape. I'm going to create a motion tween on that shape. And then I'm going to have it end here. And we'll say it starts over here. And that somewhere in the middle, they're going to cross. The red shape is on top because it's the top layer. If I made it the bottom layer, it would be the bottom shape. Add a rotation for the star real quick. And we will also change its size. So we'll have this one start small and end large. So when we're finished, we'll go to File, Save As, go up to Google Drive, My Drive. If you don't have an Animate folder, click on New Folder, name it Animate. We'll name this Motion Tweens, we'll hit Save. Now if we were to go to Google Classroom to turn this in, we do not actually want to turn in the FLA file. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and do Test the Movie, which will create an SWF. So under Control Test, you'll see that this is Control Enter. So if I press Control Enter, the progress bar said Exporting SWF. So now we see motiontweens.swf, and that is the file we want to turn in. So when you go into Google Drive and you go into Insert a File, you'll see that motiontweens.swf is now the most recent file that you have, and that's what you want to turn in. Do not turn in the FLA file. Make sure it's the SWF.